5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're live with Neve. This is Live with Neve. Iconic musicians, comedy, and God knows what else. Hold on!
All right. Hey, everybody. A happy hump day to all. Oh, what day is it? I'll tell you what day it is. We're going to have some fun this morning talking music. It is a beautiful day here in New York. The sun is it's a little cloudy, but it's kind of nice out. It's a balmy 30 or so degrees. Our next friend who's coming on to talk guitars and music and just play me a little bit of music has a gig coming up this weekend. And a lot of you really enjoyed last time we had Roy on, and we're glad to have him back. So today we're going to just have some fun for the next hour or so. And I hope everybody's morning is good wherever you are. So go ahead. Let's bring Roy, without any introduction, Roy Bookbinder. Good morning, Roy.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
I don't know if I can do an hour. I'm getting old.
Oh, that's all right. We'll take you as you are. Got to save it up for Friday. I guess, is your gig Friday or Saturday?
The gig is Saturday.
Okay, great.
It's a limited seating thing in a nice little club, the Hideaway on Central Avenue in St. Petersburg. It's called a listening room. It's a rarity in Florida. Can you hear me okay?
Oh yeah, I hear you. I hear you good. Can you? I know you can hear me kind of so.
Okay.
Well,
You're not
because there's a little delay.
Mouth, but,
there's a little delay,
okay.
so I'll talk and then pause for a second. These pesky satellites. So, tell me, Roy, how long you been playing guitar now?
A couple of years.
Couple of dozen.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I don't consider myself a guitarist. I'm an entertainer. I'm
Yes,
not
okay.
a hotshot guitarist. The worst thing that it really annoys me when they make a poster up and says blues guitarist Roy Bookbinder tonight. It really pisses me off.
Oh, I know. I never equate you with blues.
or guitar legend. The guitar is a secondary part of the act. I mean,
I'm so glad I didn't say that.
yeah, the guitar. I mean, I know 8 million great guitar players, and I don't put myself in that category. I mean, when I teach at Yorma Calkins Fur Peace Ranch, I always tell the students, the guys and gals, I said, I can't make you a great guitar player because I'm not one. I said, but I can, in one weekend, I can help you create the illusion that you're pretty good.
I love it. I love it. For everybody who's watching, Roy Bookbinder teaches at the Yorma Kekkonen's Guitar Ranch, and I'd love to go there. I don't know if you could do anything for me though, Roy. I'm a drummer.
Drummers like to hang out with the musicians. That's a cool thing.
Yes. What do you call a drummer without a wife or a girlfriend? Homeless.
Yeah, well, that's every musician. But it's not true. It's only the ones that didn't achieve their. Maybe they went as far as they could.
That's true. That's true.
I mean,
So,
I always hate the depiction of the down and out blues singer.
hey man, BB King was styling, and a lot of those guys had more class than anybody.
Well, you even go back to the 20s and 30s. You never see a
Mm-hmm.
photograph of a blues player of merit. Blind Lemon
Right.
Jefferson, um, or any of those guys, uh, not in a suit and tie with a watch chain. Blind
Hmm.
Blake, they're all snazzy dressers. They were not the down and outers. The
No,
down and outers usually were not the players they're the players that didn't climb the ladder. They didn't have it. Maybe they had
sure.
some bad breaks,
Hmm.
but I always hate that when they depict the acoustic blues player as a down and out person. I mean, Brownie McGee and Gary Davis did fine. They
Oh,
had the talent.
absolutely. It's like back in those days, even like yeah, the dancers. I think of the Nichols brothers. Playing with Cab Calloway and stuff like that. I mean, not that they were in the blues category, but those guys weren't slumming it.
No, no,
Very.
they were popular entertainers.
Hmm.
I mean,
So back when who was the first real blues guy you met that you really learned something from? Like just traded licks, if you will.
I don't trade licks. I don't know how to trade licks.
Okay,
I just stole licks.
I gotcha.
I borrowed. Uh, well, I started playing guitar. I was in the Mediterranean on an aircraft carrier, and a kid from Oklahoma taught me some chords. And then another kid on the ship was from Texas, and he had some records of Lightning Hopkins and John Lee Hooker and Bobby Bland, and I was fascinated by that sound. I mean,
Right.
when I joined the Navy in '62, the folk boom was just starting, but I didn't know anything about it.
Wasn't that kind of an infection at the time? Sort of like getting a bad case of whooping cough?
Well, folk music in '62, Dylan had just recorded, so it was booming. I mean, the
Hmm.
folk boom, it was a carryover from the '50s and the
Right.
'40s. I mean, that it became pop music was just a bizarre thing. And the
Hmm.
part of the music that became popular was really, the Kingston Trio and the Limelighters and all that stuff. And that we didn't look at that as really as folk music. They
Right.
classified it as. It's just like all the stuff we call blues. The players didn't call it blues; they just picked guitar. Until
Right.
the record companies classified everything. This is blues. This is race music. You're black. He's white. This is a hillbilly song. I always say that the Allen brothers were white. They played blues in the 20s and 30s, and
Right.
one of their records was issued on the race label, and they sued the record company.
That's great. I did not know that. And did they win?
I don't know that
It,
they were upset.
I
They
bet.
were, but they could have passed.
Right.
Their music was pretty down home. I always tell people the only difference between hillbilly music and country blues in the 20s was the color of the guy holding the guitar.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean,
And you
even
can
Pink,
hear it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah, even Pink Anderson learned a lot from records. Howlin' Wolf said Jimmy Rogers influenced him,
Right.
and Pink Anderson recorded 4 songs in 1928. 3 of them were actually adaptations uh, by a white guy named Emmett Miller songs.
No kidding.
Emmett Miller was a blackface minstrel man who
Oh,
recorded
no. The
who
minstrel.
recorded
Wow.
oh, he was the most important unknown in music world in America.
Hmm.
But without he recorded a session in New York City in 1927 or 8. Uh, well, minstrel shows were the most popular form of entertainment in America from 1850 to 1940.
Right.
These big tent shows would travel through. Pink Anderson saw a million of them. I mean, Pink Anderson exaggerated his black accent when he was performing, and
Wow.
as they say, Uncle Tom did, because that was what was popular. And all of us, in a way, have done that. But
Right.
when Emmett Miller recorded, he was a yodeler. Yodel was very popular, and he was a
Yo,
vaudeville
yo,
star. Uh,
yo.
this guy yodeled like a clarinet. I mean,
Wow.
without Emmett Miller, Emmett Miller's biggest the people he influenced the most was number one, Bob Wilson, the Texas Playboys.
Ah, I love that stuff.
Number
Really
two,
good.
uh, well, he influenced Leon Redbone, the whole act, really.
Right.
Leon nailed it. And
Did you ever play with him
Leon,
over the years?
I knew him. I don't play with anybody.
Okay.
I don't know how to play guitar. I
Yeah,
mean, I,
I know. You keep telling me about that.
I do my 60 songs. I can't play along with people, and I have never had a desire to.
I love it. You
I just
know, well,
I just want to entertain people. Everybody, a lot of musicians, they always thought I was I was antisocial or something because I never joined them in their jams. Well,
right.
honestly, I don't know how to do that, and I
That's
never wanted to.
right.
I
Well,
mean,
you know, you're kind of unique. I mean, there's so many people who, you know, they have to just jump at everything. But I have to say, your show's excellent. It always has been. It's all about you're an entertainer and damn good one.
right. Well,
And I'm not, you know,
Dave Van Ronk and Rainbow Jack Elliott were two of my biggest heroes, and
right,
they didn't play guitars with other people. They knew how to do what they did, and
right,
people liked it, and they had no desire, I don't think, to do that other thing. I mean, I
right.
know
Well, listen,
musicians
we
love.
have to go to break. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but we've got to run to break real quick. Hold that thought. We'll be right back.
okay.
Hi, this is Leland Sklar, and I am hanging with Neve, and I am having the best time of my life.
Live with Neve, Fridays on the East Coast from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m.
They sentenced me to 20 years of boredom for trying to change the system from within. I'm coming now, I'm coming to reward them.
All right, all right. Hey, everybody. Here you are, high in Highlands with Neil. And we have the great Roy Bookbinder, and I'm going to be joined by our co-host, Julie. And from the West Coast, our gal in LA, Toby Simmons. We're glad to have you here. So we've been talking to Roy Bookbinder about the influence of the early blues and Leon Redbone and his interesting, you know, just guy's had a hell of a good time. And I have to say it's on his own terms. So we're glad to have him. And there's Roy again. Oop. Hey, there's Julie too. Say hello, Julie.
Hey, hi Roy.
Hey, Julie.
So cool. You have some music for us? I'm
Boy,
dying
I'm
to
over
hear.
here. You're stuttering now.
Oh, well, I've been known to do that.
I don't know. This is high technology.
We we hear you well.
Okay,
We hear you real good.
I'm just trying to center myself in the picture there.
That's cool. I appreciate it.
I'm in there.
Do you have any? What music do
Oh,
you
you're
have for us
stuttering
today?
now.
What music do you have for us?
No, it's not. Your sound isn't working. Music. Let me get my guitar. Maybe I'll sing you one.
Great. For everybody watching, we got Roy Bookbinder, and he's coming to us from Florida. He's on tour or at a gig in Florida, I should say. He's on a lovely little island off the west coast of Florida, and I'm sure he's chilling like a villain. I must say it's about 35 out here, so I'm not really digging on the weather. But you know what? The window's open here in Studio A, and oh God, there's a guitar over there. What the hell's that doing there? But hell, here's Roy. All right.
You hear that? Okay.
I hear you real good.
Let me tilt it. Let me tilt it down a little bit so I can see part of this guitar.
Oh, yeah. There we go. What are you playing today, Roy?
It's about a 1938 little Washburn guitar that was made in the Regal Guitar Factory. Washburn didn't have a factory anymore. It was just a name owned by the Tonk Brothers Musical Instrument Corporation Company. They had their the Washburns that Regal made. Regal made a lot of inexpensive guitars, but the custom shop made some very good guitars. They made Washburns, and they made some Bacon and Days. A lot of the banjo companies wanted to have a guitar. I mean, Gibson did it, and Martin did it a little bit during the Depression. But
Mm-hmm.
this late 30s, Regal made a bunch of really nice Washburns. Most of them more like looking like Martins.
Okay.
They're pretty rare. A lot of the old guitars fell apart. Can you hear the
Here
guitar?
we have a lovely friend from Australia visiting you, Roy.
Yeah, your
Terry
voice is.
Linders.
You're having a vocal problem there.
Okay.
Let me think of what I'll do for you here. A little song I wrote years ago. It's gonna be alright someday. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be just fine someday. It's gonna be alright. Drinking Cuban coffee every morning, drinking Irish whiskey at night. I'll be walking downtown with my very best gal under the stars in the moonlight. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be just fine. It's gonna be alright someday. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay someday. It's gonna be alright. No more troubles or heartaches. There'll be no more worries or fears. Cause this whole world's gonna keep spinning around without any sorries, without any fears. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be alright. It's gonna be okay someday. It's gonna be alright. It's gonna be just fine someday. It's gonna be okay. I won't take any more losses. I'm only gonna have wins. My lucky number's gonna keep coming up every time the wheel of fortune does spin. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be alright. It's gonna be just fine. That's my optimistic song. Can't hear you.
Neil, you're muted. You're muted on your end, Neil.
How
Can't hear
about
you.
that? Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah.
All right. So, where were you when you wrote that song, Roy?
I don't remember. I was in a happy place, I guess.
All right. Well, I'm glad. We always like to be in a happy place for sure.
Yeah.
So,
I don't write a lot of songs. I haven't written a song since the last album came out. It's easy to write the songs that. It's easy to write bad songs. It's hard to write songs that will last.
that's a true thing.
I've only written about 25 songs max. I have 2 albums of my own songs,
Hmm.
and some of those songs are scattered on other albums. But
Hmm.
that's my last album, The Good Book. I figure that's my legacy. I mean,
Sure.
I played and sang and wrote the songs, and I always wanted to do that. And I had clarinet, stand-up bass, percussion, and a little lap steel on there, and it was really a very exciting project. It took me a long time to get it together in my head to do such a thing, and I haven't done anything since really, recording
That
live or and people say, "Oh, when are you gonna make a new album?" I might not. I mean,
Right.
what do you need it for? It'd be silly at this point in my life. I'd be 80 in 2 years. It'd be silly to do an album with John Hurt and Gary Davis songs. If I got nothing to say, forget about it.
Man, I don't know.
I mean, it's been done. I mean, there's so many great people doing the old time blues now. You got John Tavius Willis, you got Blind Boy Paxton, and you
Mhm.
got a lot of cool people.
Well, it's funny you say that because I think everything does go in cycles, as the cliche. There's a lot of great talent out there. A lot of it you don't see on television, or you can find it on the internet. Though it's out there. I mean, I hear them. I always figure old men sit and discuss how the world's going to hell, the music sucks, everything's going, but we die. Eventually, the younger folks take over, and civilization's going on, and it's a cycle of life. And I'm always happy when I see young folks picking up traditional, Americana or anything. I mean, somebody finding a piano who can play ragtime like it's meant to be played is hard. I know some great people who. I have a friend of mine, Norman Selden. Do you know him? He's an
Never heard.
Asbury Park piano player.
No, I probably don't know him.
He's like king of Asbury Park. We've had him on the show, and he's just a tremendous ragtime player. I mean, Dr. John and all that kind of stuff. He learned stuff before they were coming along. Actually, he was in the same generation, I guess, but a little younger. And he's just an amazingly great player. I could just want to sit down with him with just a snare drum and some brushes and just play along with it. Do that all night long and have a good time.
Yeah,
But where are you playing? Oh,
there's a
go
lot
ahead.
of good young talent out there,
Mm-hmm.
and some of them. I mean, I'm only into the ones that understand the past in their music, not
Right.
that mimic it, but that use the facilities of. I mean, like Dr. John and Alan Toussaint and James Booker, uh,
Right.
they didn't invent it. Professor Longhair did, and
Right.
they were the three disciples, the most
Mm-hmm.
important direct contacts. But then you got the British guy now. What's his name that plays in New Orleans and toured with Bonnie Raitt, and he plays that kind of music. There's a great
Mm-hmm.
guy in England that nobody here knows, Diz Watson. Diz Watson was so good playing New Orleans piano that when Dr. John used to tour Europe, he'd bring Diz Watson to play the piano. So because Dr. John really liked to play the guitar and he never got a chance to. So he had Diz Watson play all the New Orleans piano stuff. And
That's
he
really
still
fun.
tours. He's very popular in Europe and England. He's British, but he spends a lot of time in Scandinavia, which is really the hippest place
Right. Right.
for real
Well,
music.
how about we're going to run to a break again. I'm sorry to do that, but let's talk about Scandinavia and your experiences in Europe. Some of the places you played and your favorite places.
Well,
So
I don't have any favorite places really. I'm not really fond of going to Europe.
I love it. Well, all right. Well, listen, we're going to go make a little money for a second.
I've had some good experiences. I'll drag them out.
All right, man. We'll see you in just a second.
Good evening, everyone. I'm here. You're not, but maybe you are. Thank you. Live with Neve, coming right up.
And I'm here too. Hi, everybody. See you next time.
Okay, back to me. Hi, everybody. I'm Jerry Murata. Coming this fall, the Live with Neve show, featuring the one, the only, the inimitable, Jerry Murata.
We keep that for the blooper reel. Try it one more time.
Here we are. No, that's I didn't.
That
That
good.
wasn't a mistake.
All right.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rick Moranis.
Live with Neve, Fridays on the East Coast from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m.
All right, all right. Oh, look what a goob I am. You see that, people? Not only am I a goob, but I at least make fun of myself. As I stood up to get my drink, I snatched the headphones off, which snatched the glasses off. I snatched down, put them on my head, grabbed my drink, ran over, sat down, put my glasses on from here. I was going, oh shit, where are they?
Where are my
And then they're on my
glasses?
head. It's getting crazy, man. Anyhow, listen, we're talking to Roy, and we're going to carry on about his favorite places not to go. There he is. What's going on, Roy? How is the temperature down there? Are you sweating yet?
No, we're not going to sweat today. It might get to be 70.
Oh,
The
that's
sun still
glorious.
the sun still hasn't broke through on the Gulf of Mexico here. It
Okay.
is
Oh,
siesta
that's nice
time.
time of day. So, tell us
Yeah,
about
it's
your gig
okay.
this weekend.
It's just a little club called the Hideaway. It's one of the great listening rooms in America. Really, it's
Mm-hmm.
small, and they're not going to have many tables, and they'll have some outside seating. You won't be able to see me, but you'll hear me. And
Right.
it was ironically it was the last gig I did in 2020, February 29th last year, and it's the first gig
Wow.
I'm doing this year.
Boy, this has been a
Uh,
weird year.
it's a nice bunch of people. You know, nobody walks in by accident. You got to pay your cover charge, and they serve light snacky meals and beer and wine, I think. And it's a refined listening room. I can't even go in the club that's I hate going out to nightclubs because they're loud and noisy, and people aren't really paying attention. Most of them,
Right.
no matter who's.
Mm-hmm.
They say, "Oh, I love this band. I love this band," and then they're gabbing with each other.
Well, they're sending selfies around and all the other stuff. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, right. All that
yeah.
shit. It's crazy. But
So I don't get that you're a very selfie kind of a guy. You haven't been sending out any selfies to any hotties out there, I guess.
well, I put out a lot of Facebook stuff, but I don't do selfies. I've done a couple.
Well, that's
Yeah.
always good.
But
Oh, let's
you
see.
were asking
It's
me about
chilly.
Europe. You were asking me about Europe, and I've had some
Yes.
great experiences. Uh, Back in the '60s, that's where my career really took the big leap because I walked in. I was friends with. It's a long story. I met Joanne Kelly, who was the queen of the British blues scene, acoustic. She sounded like Son House, and she played bottleneck guitar. She was a petite little blonde lady. She died of a brain situation years later. But
Mm,
she was the queen. She came to New York to record. Nick Pearls of Blue Goose Yazoo Records discovered her. She was doing fine over there before she was discovered by us. And he brought her over and got her a record deal with CBS Records. Her first album, she did a lot of Robert Johnson stuff. It was solo, and nobody was doing
wow.
Robert Johnson back then. And she was a striking little figure. And the record company wanted her to go on tour with Johnny Winter and dye her hair white or blonde. She was a light brown English lady, properly
Right.
English girl. She, and she laughed at it. And she said she didn't want to do that, go on tour with Johnny Winter. She regretted it in her older age when she
Right.
could have used the money for her daughter and stuff. But I met her when she came to New York to record, and I ended up spending 6 months at her. You know, she said, if you're ever in London, ring us up. Her and her boyfriend manager. So I rang them up one day, and they said, "Where are you?" I said, "I'm in at Heathrow Airport." It's the '60s, you know,
Oh,
and
that's
they were
great.
going out on tour, so they directed me to their house, and they left. They said, "Here's a box of shillings. If you want hot water, you put a shilling in the box. You want a heater on, you put the shilling in the box." Pretty primitive in those days.
Oh,
That was the
yeah, it's a
late
lot different.
'60s. And her manager told me to go around and do the best I could. Well, when they came back, I had a press kit, and I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't there for 4 days when I got hired to open up for Homesick James and the Dusters in London at the 100 Club, famous jazz club. And then I got hooked up with the National Blues Federation. I got written up in Jazz Journal and Melody Maker and all that the first 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, people say, "How do you know when you could do it for a living?" Well, somebody on the outside
Right.
of your circle got to tell you. And when I got
Yeah,
that
really.
press, you know, and the first review said, not since Ramblin' Jack Elliott came over in the '50s with a cowboy hat and a guitar have we been so entertained by a Yankee from New York, and that was the beginning of my career, really.
Really. And then where did it head from that point?
Well, then I went back to. I already knew Gary Davis, so I went back to America for a while. Then I recorded my first full-length album. I had a few songs on anthologies at that time, but they were on Blue Goose Records and Kicking Mule Records, which were prestigious things back in those days. Nobody had a record they put out themselves that was considered lowbrow. Uh, they called it a vanity. The musicians called it a vanity recording
Oh, of
because
course, right.
nobody cared enough to record you.
Right, right,
So back in those days, if you recorded anything, it was noticed.
right.
Say, hey, it's 8 million CDs. I got boxes. People hand me on the road. And
Do
they
you
would
have
give you a
anybody
list.
cover your material?
Well, Jorma Kaukonen's the biggest one, but a
Hmm.
lot of people we've never heard of. Usually, if they record my song, they send me a check for 8 cents. If they print a
Yeah,
thousand
right.
CDs, they print 1,000 CDs. I mean, the people that are that know the right thing to do send me a check for $80. My song "Full Go Round" has been recorded by 10 or 11 people, but Yorma was the biggest, and he's recorded my song, my Gary Davis song too. I call what do I call it? The preacher picked the guitar and he recorded "Full Go Round." Sometimes I'm at a gig and somebody would tell me, they say, "Oh, I love the way you did Yorma's song."
No kidding. I bet that's a good one. That cracked me up too, man.
I see that a lot on Facebook and stuff, Because
Do you want to? Can you play that song for us?
uh, uh, yeah, okay. I'll get my guitar back. I'll put it back inside because it's
Oh,
damp.
all right. I'm sorry about that. How about it, Jules?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, you're sounding better now. So whatever ghost in the machine, I think Spear must have given us a long distance spherical cleansing.
Well, I hear it on your end now.
I know it was coming back at my end in my headphones, but now I don't hear it at all. So who the hell knows?
Weird. It's so
It's
strange.
mysteries. Hey, for everybody out there, Toby and Harold, we're glad you're here. You're new people on the show, and we really appreciate you coming on and checking it out.
Yes, thank you,
Roy,
everybody.
you have some folks who want to say hello to you from around the country. We've got Martin McNeil. He said that he liked hearing you give credit to Joanne Kelly, and another fellow from LA, Harold Lorbert's watching, and he just said keep on rocking. And then last, Toby Simmons runs some venues in Encino, California. She wants to know if you'd come out and play some venues in Los Angeles, some small venues. Let me bring him on.
Every summer, I usually go to California, but at least every other summer. And last summer, luckily, I didn't plan on it because you had all those fires out there. And this year, I'm booking up the tour, but I haven't even called California because they're going to have fires again because it's not something that's controllable. And it'd be terrible to go all the way out there because I drive to all my gigs. Go out there and not have a tour. Ensenadas, what's it called? I can't hear you now. But
Neil, you're
I'm
I
not.
breaking
I'm
turned it
up
not.
really
off
bad.
just because I was listening to you. I'm sorry.
I'm not planning a West Coast tour at this time because of the fires
Right.
and the pandemic. So I'm sticking east of Oklahoma City. I'll probably. I just booked 2 dates in Texas for November in Houston, and before that, it's always got to work in routing because I drive the little bus. Show you my bus after a while, but. Like in October, November, I'll do in October teach at Yorma's camp. The next weekend I do Merle Fest in North Carolina, and I
Hmm.
play some other gig in North Carolina, and then I'll be heading to Oklahoma City, hopefully to Tulsa. It's not confirmed, but 3 Center is a great gig for me. And then I'll play the Blue Door in Oklahoma City probably, and from there drop into Texas in
We love
November.
Texas.
And after I always do Texas in November, and then I do Louisiana, Baton Rouge, and New Orleans, and then I go home for the winter.
Right. Well, it
The
sounds
last
like a
time I
good
went home for the
time.
year.
I wish you'd get up here to New York.
But I'd love to go to Encinitas. That person that wants me to play in Encinitas should go to my website and contact me and send me her information. So when I book a tour, I'll give her a buzz. Because I
That would be great.
usually play Boulevard Music or McCabe's in L.A.
Okay.
But
Cool.
and sometimes playing Covina. Because
Okay.
if you get that far, you got to do all 2 or 3 gigs to make it work. And I'm good with 60-seat room,
Right.
$25 a ticket. Give me most of the money and a guarantee.
Gotta have the money. Show me the money.
You want to
Well,
hear a
hell,
little?
let's
Okay.
play that song. All right, everybody. Roy Bookbinder is going to play us some music. Show us how it's done.
This song, I was at some funeral for somebody with my old friend, the blues singer from Fairfax County, Virginia,
Mm-hmm.
John Jackson, and he had this. My phone just fell off the stand.
That's all right. We can. It adds an element of
Okay.
adventure to the show. Fear and danger.
Okay,
It's like Marlon.
I can't see you now. See me. I think I got to open up my phone again.
I believe so. Roy has slipped into a vortex. A black hole has enveloped him in Florida. Are people on? There we go. People standing by are. There he is.
There he is. He's back.
He's
There you
back.
go, Roy.
John Jackson was a very unique, great picker in the tradition of Blind Blake and the Carolina guys. He loved Blake. He was a good writer, and he was discovered. Long story, people know his story, but he ended up touring for the State Department, and he was a grave digger most of his life, and did manual labor, the farmer. Great guy. And he toured Europe and everything and recorded for our Hooli and for different labels. And we've been friends for a long time. We were at somebody else's funeral. He's gone now. And he said he had this accent. It was hard to understand. And he said something. That man had a good fur. I said, "What'd you say?" Well, ended up, he said the man had a good full go round. And I wrote it down because I thought that's a great way to describe a person's life. And then years later, I wrote this song. The year John Jackson and Dave Van Ronk died, I wrote "Another Man Done a Full Go Round."
All right. All right, everybody. Live with Roy Bookbinder. Glad to have him live with Neve.
Put him in the ground 6 feet down till you hear that coughing sound. You can weep and you can moan, that old boy never coming home. I said another man done a full go round, another man done a full go round. Tell our tales, we can laugh and joke, we can ponder all day about the words he spoke. You can't run, you can't hide when death comes.
Thank you, Julie.
By your side. You know another man done a full go round, another man done a. No more fussing about this or worrying about that. Taking out the dog, letting in the cat. Eat your biscuits and gravy. You can smoke and drink, cause it ain't gonna matter. But nobody thinks you know another man done a full go round. summer, spring, or fall. You got to go when the good Lord calls. Made us laugh until we cried. Only wish that I had me a chance to say goodbye. Another man done a fool around. Another man done a fool around. Yeah, we can tell our tales, we can laugh and joke, but we can ponder all day about the words he spoke. You can't run and you can't hide when death come creeping up by your side. Another man done a fool around. Another man done a fool around. That's a fool go round.
I know you can't hear me. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
We're gonna run to a break and then have you come back on. I'd like to kind of talk about like some of your like 2 or 3 favorite songs you've played over your life that you always go back, or maybe your encore tunes might be the question. And then we'll
Okay.
be right back and we'll talk about it. Go to rap, Julie. Okay, we're going to a break. All right. Well, Roy is back. We're going to pass on the break. We've got some technical problems between here and the studio in Florida, which is okay. And then Roy's out here in the studio of Mother Nature.
Yeah.
So, what are like your favorite encore songs? Do you have one you've been playing forever that's always the one?
No, I don't. I never play in a show. It could be anything. I think I lost you.
Yes. Oh, you're gone.
Oh, there you are.
I don't see. There you are. Oh,
I can't see you now.
yeah, you're gone again. Please stand by. There he is.
Okay, here we go.
Well, listen.
Encore
What?
songs.
Well, we're talking encore songs, but do you just mix it up every night and just throw them out as you feel like it, or do you usually follow a set thing?
I never play in anything. I never play in a show. Encore songs. There's certain songs that somebody will say, come back to do it. I don't like to do encores. Most times in the last 5 or 8 years, I tell people, I had a great time. I'm not really big on doing encores, so I just want to tell you this is the encore.
Right. That works.
And then I explain. And then I explained it. The encore is the most awkward part of show business. You walk halfway down the stage. Some people are putting their coats on. They're dying to get out of there. Other people are saying, "Oh, Jesus, you're going to play another one." You can't please all the people all the time. So the only person you can really please all the time is yourself. So this is the encore, and I close with a strong song. I mean, I
Oh,
can
I know
close.
you do.
I made it a festival. I might close with "Oh Glory, How Happy I Am." Are actually my favorite
Right.
songs that I wrote. I've been stressing my own material. So, I mean, my song "The Good Book," which I'm not going to do for you now, is
All right. Well,
a song that Mrs. Davis would have gone nuts for that song,
right.
and
Right.
it's in the
Looks like we're having a little freeze up here. I don't know if you can see that out there.
still there.
Yes, Toby, I'm here. We're just having a little Facebook fun. Can you
I
hear
just
me?
have
There
to
we
say,
are.
yeah, but luckily, I came up with a couple of his chords, and my style is much more chordal. I don't do a lot of these runs that he did and stuff. And
All right.
I'll use 4 chords, and a lot of my songs that I write, like if there's 4 beats to the measure, I'll use 4 different chords, one for each beat.
Mm-hmm.
and that's cool to do. And then try to sing behind that. People say, "How do you do it?" I say, "I don't know.
You right? Right. It just
I do what
happens.
comes naturally." Yeah, my stuff kind of just happened. It often happens exactly the same way the next night.
Yeah, right,
but
right. Well,
but
how about you
it,
play that? We're about time to wrap it up here, and I was wondering, would you play that song?
no, I already put my guitar away.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Uh,
Well,
I want to
listen,
flash
Roy.
my. If I point the camera at my little bus, will you see my bus instead of me?
Would I see what?
My little tour bus, my Sprinter. I want to show you where I'm at. I want to show you my environment right now.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, man. Come on, give us a tour, buddy.
Well, so I
Absolutely.
just point the camera. I won't be able to see what you see.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay.
No, that's fine. All
Uh,
right. We're going to have a little tour of Roy's
yeah,
bus.
there's my little. Well, it's going to be the outside. The wife's sleeping in there. Did you see that?
I did. Very nice. Nice, comfortable
Okay, we're
quarters.
going on.
We're going in Roy Bookbinder's trailer, behind the scenes. The bus behind the man.
The bookmobile.
All right. That is sweet. Very nice.
Yeah, it's 8 years old, and I've had it for 8 years. It's the best bus I ever had. And the wife's sleeping in the
Excellent.
back room. It's 24 feet long. Gets 18 miles to the gallon. It's great. Diesel.
Oh man, that is killer mileage, really.
Yeah, yeah.
Very
Well,
nice.
Mercedes got it together. You know, people say to me like, "Oh my God, it's a Mercedes." In Europe, it's just a truck. You know.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, oh,
Exactly.
over there, if you got a Chevy van, the people say, "Oh my God, it's a Chevrolet."
Right.
But the basic Mercedes van is about the same price as a Dodge van used to be. But
Right.
with the diesel engine, it's more expensive, of course. And the diesel
Absolutely.
engine, they expect that engine to last 400,000 or 500,000 miles.
Right.
Yeah. So
Well,
this is.
that's good because I know. I mean, I've had a couple, and they don't. Nothing worse than being stuck somewhere. And
Oh God, yeah. Well, it's all about you got to do your maintenance. You got to do your maintenance.
right. Well, listen,
Okay,
Roy.
I'm good.
We're
I'm
about
gonna
to run
run.
out. I hope you have a great show this weekend. We really, all I can say is I'm glad you came on with us. I look forward to always talking to you. And from Julie and I both, we really appreciate you coming on with us again. And when you get out on the road again out in LA, maybe you'll come on. You can come on. We'll do a live thing at one of your gigs or something. You never know.
Hey,
If
yeah.
you get up here to New York, let me know if you decide you want to come up here at that time at some point next year. I'll try and hook you up.
Thanks again, Roy.
Thank you, man. All right,
Well,
Julie, I guess we're out of here. We've got,
well,
just for everybody watching today, our show is coming up at 1:30, and we have an excellent guest. Today's kind of turning into a feature Tampa Day. I have a friend of mine who I'm really excited to have on, and everybody in Tampa will know his name. Richard Gonsmart is truly a unique mammal. And I say that, I was reading his bio. It appears that he is actually ADD, which, like, anybody who watches my show knows, it's like squirrel. And he's got this most amazing empire that he's built. He considers himself basically runs it. He's the caretaker for the family's restaurants. Oldest restaurant in Florida, a bunch of locations. And I'm not here to
my
talk. Go ahead.
my grandfather worked at the original one as a busboy when he was.
There you go. I mean, there's so many success stories like that. And Richard, he treats his employees well. They're like all family to him. And I could sit here all day and talk about his accomplishments, and there's so many. I'm really humbled that he would come on and talk to me. But I wanted to talk to him about guitars, because there's nothing that makes my heart get more exciting and jiggy than having a fine guitar to look at one that I want desperately. And when we have him on, excuse me, I'm hoping he'll kind of let loose and show us the inner side of him. He plays decent.
Yeah.
He plays good. I saw a picture of him playing with my other friend, Joey Donovan.
Does he do
I don't know, man.
freestyle
You
or
were probably
what?
showing Joey how to play.
Ah.
Richard, I'm kidding, Rick. Joey Donovan, I used to work for a long time, on and off in many guises and forms. And I know he's a great guy, and we'll probably be talking to him on the show too. But today, Richard Gonsmart at 1:30. Remember, times sometimes stretch a little bit. Sometimes it's like a little longer than 1:30. It might be 1:32. We try for professional, but sometimes all the platforms we're trying to work through just conspire against us, despite our best efforts. But we're kicking it.
This bitch down.
So we're out of here, right?
Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week, live with Neve.